understand. So a very good evening to you all. As always, please let us know all of the wonderful locations that you are joining us from. Give those thumbs up, give those hearts, give those, I don't know what else is on there, little clappy hands maybe. It's wonderful to see you. Hopefully you were with us yesterday, so you have a good idea about what the winter webinars are. But if you didn't attend yesterday, if this is your first day, you missed a very heated and very energetic, I would say, and emotionally driven webinar yesterday. It was frantic in the chat box. I couldn't even keep up. People got very, very passionate about the topic of AI and adaptive learning. If you missed yesterday's, I will put that recording onto our YouTube page, and I'll share the link for that in a little while. So you can go and catch up on that if you wish. But this is day 2 of our winter webinars. So for the winter webinars this year, we have got 6 wonderful locally based teachers and trainers. And the rationale, I don't know, not rationale, what's the right word? The reason for creating these webinars is to give a platform to teachers and trainers who are based in the Middle East and North Africa, for them to share their experiences, for them to share their expertise, for them to share the topics that they are interested in, and have a lot of things to share with other teachers. So we organized this to give people that platform. And soon I will be sharing a link, probably at the end of the winter webinar, for anyone, if they wish to also get involved. We will be having the summer sessions again, probably towards May, June, July time. So if you are a teacher there in the chat box from wherever you're from, Lebanon, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Bahrain, and you also would like to get involved in delivering webinars on the Macmillan Education platform, helping your fellow teachers in East and North Africa, you are more than welcome to apply. And I will, again, share a link a little bit later for that. So today is day 2. So we have 2 sessions coming up with 2 fantastic speakers. I've seen them both. And really, really interesting topics again today. So hopefully you've all got your fingers at the ready to get involved in that chat box. So without further ado, I've got a couple of announcements. Of course, same as yesterday, certificates will be sent probably at the beginning of next week once I've downloaded all your information from the Zoom platform to see who attended. I will send out some certificates and anything of any use related to the topics that I can find to keep those professional development journeys going. This is brought to you by the MENA-based Academy. Again, if you haven't visited us before, I would advise you can go to the website, which I'm about to share, MENA-academy.com, there in the chat box. But I would advise to subscribe to the monthly newsletter so you can see all of the Macmillan Education professional development activities that are happening throughout the year, not just this one. And you can get involved in any of them. They're always free to attend. And we've got some cool new activities coming up throughout 2025, which I'm sure people will be interested to get involved in. One such activity is, of course, the Global Teachers Festival. Again, if you were here yesterday, you would have seen me share a little bit of information about this. This is happening on the 10th of February. And again, it's 2 full weeks of professional development, webinars and activities that you can get involved in. And I will share the link for this again in the chat box. But I will also send out these links in the follow-up email so you can go to them in your own time. There you go. macmillanenglish.com/GTF. I can see somebody's just requested to be a site member on the MENA-based Academy. So one of you, one of the 100 and how many people are here? Trying to look. One of the 101 of you is a special person who's just clicked on that link. Well done. So yeah, register for the Global Teachers Festival. There's a whole ton of stuff going on, covering all segments. So it doesn't matter whether you're teaching pre-primary or whether you're teaching adults, whether you're interested in well-being or whether you're interested in critical thinking or developing grammar. There's something in there pretty much for everybody. So go and explore that event. But back to today, because I want to get straight on with the first webinar. We are welcoming BARA'AH SHALABI, who's joining us. BARA'AH, if you'd like to come onto the screen, I'll say hi.
Yeah, you cannot see me.
That's fine.
Still?
I saw you. You were she's having a few problems with her laptop, so she's talking to us through her phone, but it's nice and
No,
clear.
no,
We can.
actually, I'm sorry. Okay, so please.
Oh, no, I think laptop's coming.
You can see me now.
You can. Then you need to log off on the phone.
Yeah, okay. I just realized I'm talking to you through the webinar without even logging and getting inside the webinar from my laptop. Please forgive me.
No problem. It's nice to see you. How are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you doing?
I'm very well. So I'm going to say to everybody in the audience, however many there are now, probably more, 107 now. Let's all throw a nice heart onto the screen for BARA'AH because she's just recovering from the flu, and she's kindly agreed to come and join us this evening, even though she's still not well. Look at all those hearts, lovely. So we're gonna be super kind to her and supportive because she's taken her time in her recovery to come and join us this evening. So we're really pleased to have you, BARA'AH. Let me introduce you. So you're in Jeddah, right? In Saudi Arabia? Yes, she's in Jeddah. That's where she's based. She graduated from Arizona State University, beautiful part of the world. And she's currently an instructor at EFAT English Academy and Princess, I can't say this word, Al Bandari, right? Higher Institution for Training. And she's got many, many years of experience teaching children and adults. And she's come to join us today to share her thoughts and experiences in terms of teaching of grammar and writing, which I think is an area which in the Middle East and North Africa is something people really always want a lot of support with. And she's going to be looking at it from both the kind of traditional aspect, how we've traditionally taught it, but how we are now changing our idea about ways to teach grammar and writing using both AI and perhaps other digital tools as well. So are you able to share your presentation now that you're on your laptop? Is it done?
Yes, but can you please allow me to? It's not. I don't have the permission. Yeah.
No. I'll stop screen sharing. I just didn't want to stop if you weren't ready. Cool.
Thank you so much.
There you go.
Thank you for the nice introduction, by the way.
You're welcome. It's lovely to have you.
Yeah. Can you see the screen?
I can. So I'm gonna go into the back and leave you to it. I will keep an eye on the chat box to see if there are any questions for at the end. And for the audience, again, use the Q&A if you've got a burning question that you would like us to address, perhaps at the end if we have time. And I'll address some along the way. But for me, good luck for now. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you in 45 minutes. Good luck.
Yes, sure. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. This is AI Meets Tradition webinar. This webinar is going to be talking about enhancing grammar and writing learning while using, obviously, AI and also traditional ways. I'm a big fan of tradition, so I thought I can use that as well as using AI. In addition to the introduction Nathan has given me, I would like to remind you I work in EFAT University. I hope my students attended. I did send them the link. So I'll be moving through my slides. If you found any problem or you could not see the next slide coming, please let me know so I would fix it from my side. So today's objectives, and I hope you can see that as well. It looks to me that you can. So today's objectives are learning the AI and the role of AI in teaching, as well as promoting a balanced way between AI and tradition. We're also going to go quickly over the ethical and authentic use of AI, and we're going to see how can we empower educators and trainers using AI. Moreover, what we will learn in this webinar is some practical examples of using AI inside the classroom for both students and teachers, and we're going to look at challenges and solutions. I'm just going to give a quick look at the chat box in case you needed something. Yes. So let's begin with what is AI? AI is basically a branch of science, computer science, that is allowing machines and technology tools to mimic and mirror the human behavior. Some of this behavior can include intelligence, decision making, and thinking, writing. It can be basically anything. AI can learn some methods and can learn styles. So if you try to teach your AI, whatever program that you use, you can actually teach it and you can actually use that for your benefit. It also understands several languages. Our main language of using AI is English. It allows you to use computer and technology to teach and do anything that is usually done by humans. This can include task making. You can ask AI to prepare something for you, a lesson plan, exercise. You can ask AI to do anything, especially if you use the right command. Moving forward, this is a very important question that my colleagues and I always go through. Is AI going to be our future? Is AI going to be a replacement? Is AI going to be everywhere? Yes and no. So AI is basically unpaid. Robots, ChatGPT, whatever AI program that you have is unpaid. You can make it work day and night. It will still be unpaid. But it can be as helpful as it is to anything. We can use it for anything. So it is unpaid and it's free and it's accessible. So instead of thinking that it's going to replace us, we can utilize it to our favor. It's here to stay. That's what I'm saying. It's here to stay. So instead of just objecting to it and just saying that we shouldn't use it and that students are using it to cheat and so on, we can use it for our favor. Since it's here to stay, we better make the best of it. We cannot fight it. Um, it's not going to replace teachers. It's not going to replace doctors. It's not going to replace people of those kind of jobs because we are the one utilizing it. We are using it. It's our tool. So it cannot replace it. A tool cannot replace the user. You cannot have an axe replace a farmer or whatever the farmers use. You can ask ChatGPT what do the farmers use. Moving forward, AI has a big role in teaching once you start learning and adapting to it. First of all, AI can be your assistant, unpaid assistant, if you use it well, by generating feedback for you or for your students, by correcting mistakes, by showing you even what types of mistakes did you make. And it can, again, be used for the students individually, or you can utilize it in the class. It also encourages students to learn how to use technology because it is important for them to stay up to date. They cannot keep using traditional ways. So it encourages students to use technology and improve their technical knowledge. This is very important because everyone now is using AI to fix the simple problems. If you're stuck, you or your students are stuck in the simple problems, then you're going to be left behind. It also assists teachers, like I just said, with resources, insight, strategies, styles. Like I said before, exercises, whatever you would need. You can ask it for plans, presentation outline. You can ask it for a strategy to teach a specific thing for a low level or a higher level. So it's very helpful as an assistant for teachers. It also can generate questions for teachers or students who want to practice. I personally use it to generate questions all the time because why would I waste, let's say, 20 to 30 minutes of my precious time that I can use to teach or do something better when I can use a free question generator with obviously the improvements and changes that I will need to make it suitable for my students or for my level. Because again, in the end, it's a tool. It doesn't control you, you control it. I see hearts and I cannot tell who is sending those hearts. Please say you are in the chat so I can see you. Okay. Moving forward, Here's what I believe to be the differences between AI and traditional learning. Both of them are very important, and both of them are always used. Okay, so to me, what I see, AI provides independence, self-learning, technological advancement, and it is accessible anytime, anywhere, by anyone, any device. You can use your laptop, computer, iPad, iPhone, whatever you have that is connected to the internet can be uh, can be helpful to access AI applications. It also can suggest improvements for you or your students in more than one area. So you can ask it for help with writing, reading, listening, speaking. You can ask ChatGPT or any other application that uses AI to fix mistakes in anything that you need. It doesn't only focus on one thing. Whereas traditional learning offers more group work. So peer review, group work, these things cannot be done with AI. This social connection that improves your language and social skills can only be found in the traditional way of learning. Also, the critical thinking, original thinking, creative thinking, all of these things do not happen with chat GPT or Grammarly or whatever AI application that you're using. You would need a human to do that, specifically an educated human, like a teacher, like a trainer, an educator. This can be only taught by a human. It also gives you personalized feedback. ChatGPT, Grammarly, Duolingo, I've tried them all, will give you feedback that is very vague and general. Whereas a teacher will tell you, hey, you always make this particular mistake, you should do this and this to fix it. Or it tells you how to, or she or he can tell you how to improve. Like you can improve by reading because you have good grammar grasp, but you need vocabulary or whatever. But this can be only done by a human, specifically a human with more knowledge. So that's one thing that AI misses. And it also teaches that traditional learning opens you up to idioms and language collocations that ChatGPT, Grammarly, Duolingo sometimes do not know. And even if they do, the way they explain it to you, it's very funny. Like you should try it one day. Ask them what does it mean to that it rains cats and dogs. It gives you the explanation in a very formal and dry way. Whereas a teacher will explain it to you really, really thorough. That is my opinion. And if someone has any additions to that, please go ahead and share. I would love to hear whatever you have to say. And someone here said that, yeah, we need to improve classroom work. Yeah, to improve students' ability to learn. Personally, I've seen that using technology does help students engage with each other and teach each other. Yeah, look at them. Look at one of them who just got inside the website or logged in his account or her account, and then they go and teach the others. They'll be so proud of themselves. They'll be so proud of what they did. And that actually happened personally 2 days ago in my class. So it's very important to teach them how to use technology and also teach them to still use field work and group work while using technology. That's what I'm doing right now, actually, quite recently. Like I said again, I'm waiting for any questions or answers or comments. Amal is saying here, yeah, it's developing beyond our expectations. I could not agree more. Sometimes it's scary to think about it, but when you look at it, it's developing beyond expectations. But who developed it? People, humans. We can control it. And like I mentioned earlier, since it's here to stay, we better make the best use of it and try to get a grasp around every other use of ChatGPT, Grammarly, Duolingo, whatever that is available out there. Because if we don't use it, students are going to use it the wrong way. So we better teach them how to use it for their benefit rather than having them just mess around these websites. Yes, I'm going to give examples. Give me a moment, Hadi. So these are some of the websites that I personally have used and I still use with my students. They are very helpful, but they have some of their own limitations. I will explain to you one by one. So we have Grammarly and Quillbot. These are wonderful, terrific for teaching grammar and spelling. It does not show you exactly how to improve vocabulary unless you choose the paraphrasing choice. I will show you later. But I like them because they are straight to the point. There's no much talking like ChatGPT. It's just straight to the point. It tells you exactly what to do. That's why I thought they are good for students. I chose them personally for students. Yes, they are free. All of these are free websites with some limitations, like I just said. ChatGPT, on the other hand, is very wonderful. This is my unpaid assistant. I'm telling you, I'm a teacher and I need an assistant. That's ChatGPT. It's really great. The only problem with it is that it needs modified commands. Otherwise, it's gonna give you long, unnecessary answers. So ChatGPT is a wonderful tool, and specifically if you give it like a specific requests or a specific questions or exercises request, it will give it to you. Then there is Pro Writing 8. This is wonderful for advanced learners. If you're teaching level B2 and above, maybe B1, this is wonderful because it teaches you how to write in different styles. Like there is the storytelling, there is fantasy. I can't remember it right now. God, I can't remember. There's fantasy, there's storytelling, there's character development, there's different styles for writers specifically. So this is only for writing. So I don't actually use it with my low level students, like A1 and A2. I do not use that. They're hardly ever writing. Then we have Ginger software, very similar to Grammarly and Quillbot, grammar and spelling. There is Duolingo. I like that. I learned Spanish and French up to A1 using Duolingo. It's really wonderful. The only problem with it, it gives you like those tons of vocabulary with no actual personalized feedback for your grammar use. So you would need a teacher with it. So there's Duolingo and there's AI Dungeon. That is a wonderful website. I got caught up in it. But it is for B2 and higher because the language of the story that they tell and write for you is very advanced. So it's basically you choose a story or a narrative, and then you continue writing, and then the website asks you how do you want to continue the story, and it gives you an option. You choose something, so it writes a long paragraph for you, and then you choose how do you want to continue what happens next. So it's a mix of reading and writing. It's a wonderful website. Again, it's very engaging, especially for higher level students. I liked it. I really liked it. Uh, I was just like messing around with it, seeing what is it exactly, and I got caught up. So these are my websites. There are many others, but these are my personal favorites. What I use with my students all the time is Grammarly and ChatGPT. This is my personal favorites. Right now, I'm working on Gender software and Quillbot. However, there are some limitations to those websites. So I'm just gonna check the questions. No, Amal, you cannot modify the level in AI Dungeon. I tried. I did maybe it needs more practice on it, but I couldn't. There wasn't that option available. So I thought this is for the higher levels. So some of the limitations of these AI websites is the fact that the concept that they provide might be wrong. Again, it's not a human. It only knows what the internet knows. That's what AI is. It's a collection of the knowledge of the internet. So no matter how much knowledge it has, it's not gonna have the right concepts or the right balance for whatever it's providing, because it's providing you modified information coming from the internet. In the end of the day, it's just the internet. So you have to be careful, especially students, they have to be careful when they are taking information from that. Moreover, if you use it too often, especially if you're still learning, it will teach you to lose your sense of creativity and your sense of energy and research. It it kind of makes you lazy, honestly. So we need to be careful that whenever you are using that, you're not turning your brain off. Again, especially students. The problem that we teachers face all the time, is the ethical concerns. They copy, students copy and cheat all the time, to the point where I was telling them that we're going to use ChatGPT for the next class, and they laughed and they said, "Oh, so we're going to cheat." Took they took an ethical lecture that day, but it is an actual problem. So we need to teach students that it's a tool that does not replace your brain. You cannot copy from it, but rather you can make you help, make it help you. Sorry, make it help you in writing, help you in reading, help you improve your grammar. It's a tool. Don't let the tool use you. You use the tool. Finally, there is this paid content thing, which is also existent in these free websites. A lot of things would need you to pay at some point. So the paid content would use someone who wants to try, because sometimes you pay for something and it turns out it's not exactly what you want. So if you're willing to try and you're willing to, if you're invested, then yeah, sure. So that's one of the limitations. Oh, thank you so much. Now, the specific applications, limitations are as follows, according to what I felt, what I saw after I used these applications. Grammarly needs an account. So if you have level 1 students, let's say, and these do not have good technological advancement, they do not know enough technology, they will suffer to get an account. So that's my problem with Grammarly. It's a wonderful website, but it needs an account. Just firsthand, it needs an account. So I did not like to use it. So I replaced it with Quillbot for students. So Quillbot and Grammarly both share this problem, that a lot of suggestions, advanced suggestions, need a paid subscription. So it will teach you the correct grammar, the correct spelling, but then comes to an improvement in style, it will ask you to pay. So it's wonderful for beginners or maybe elementary students when they are still learning how to write and what words to use. Then yeah, sure, they can use that. Once you have more advanced learners, they better find a replacement for these. So like I said, I like them, but it's for beginners, and I prefer Quillbot over Grammarly, but for students. ChatGPT will give you vague answers, long answers, unless you give it the exact right command. It took me a while to get to that. I don't know why and how. I did not think that these tools, these machines will need such thing. So ChatGPT is wonderful, but you need to learn what exact command do you need to give. Then we have Pro Writing 8. This will need practice to be able to learn to use it. I needed practice to learn how to use it. So I do not recommend this for beginners, rather for advanced learners or learners who have good technological understanding. And finally, there's Gender Software. It's similar to Grammarly and Quillbot because it just gives you the correct answer. But the only problem for me was that it does not show you why is it a mistake. Just underlines the mistake and you go figure it out. That was my problem. So if I had to choose 2 or 3 programs of all of these, I would choose Grammarly, Quillbot, and ChatGPT, especially for beginners. And I would, utilize it for advanced learners. Before I move on, I will just check your answers. Your questions. Raida, I think that's your name. I did not get your question. Can you please rephrase it? Use AI to detect plagiarism. That's an option actually in Grammarly and ProWriting Aid. Yes, in ProWriting Aid and Grammarly, you can check for plagiarism. There's another website. I forgot to write it. I'm gonna take the name of it of my friend. It actually gives you put the text in that website and it tells you how much of it was made by AI. And honestly, when you're a teacher for many years, your eyes can tell. You read a text and my students get shocked all the time. How could you know that this is not us writing? When you're a teacher for a long time, you can sense that the AI writing is somewhat dry, I would say. It needs a human touch. It's not personal. And yes, Fatin, ChatGPT does need details. A better application to ChatGPT, there is Gemini by Google, according to what I heard. I never tried it, but I heard people mention Gemini. I'm sorry, I did not mention that because I never used it. I only used the ones that I found easy to use. Let me check more questions. Yes, I just said the most beneficial ones to me are Grammarly, Quillbot, and ChatGPT. Yeah, okay. So ChatGPT, sometimes you give it the same exact command, it's gonna give you two different answers. I don't know why it happens, but like I said, it's a tool. So what I would say is I would give the command, and then I will say, can you make it about this? Can you change it to that? And it does. It does. It's a good tool. I never tried Write and Improve website. We have someone said Gemini is easy and amazing to use. Yes, Meta AI to create math grade 9 assessments. It required specific prompts and was quite useful with taxonomy and cognitive levels too. That's great. So Meta AI seems also like a good tool. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay. Okay, I see some people in the question and answers, but I do not, I will check that later, okay? Moving forward, these are some examples of ethical and authentic use of AI. I have had so far in university 2 disabled students. I cannot tell you enough how much I'm thankful for these applications that are able to replace, I wouldn't say replace, I would say assist these students with their disabilities. So some of these uses are supporting different learning styles. Even for healthy students, able students, sometimes they need different ways to understand. So I have students who learn using just by hearing me. Other students would need me to write stuff for them. A third type of students would need pictures and so on. These tools can help you with that. You do not need to go up and down, right and left all the way to teach when there is a tool that can help you with it. So the one thing I like is that it gives you more than one way to teach. So it accommodates all learning types inside one classroom. It's also great for checking or grading assignments, quizzes, exams, whatever you have. Again, if you use the right command. So it saves you some time. I personally do not use it to check my tests at all. I do not like it to grade my assessments. I like to grade them myself because in the end of the day, it's a tool. It can be right, it can be wrong, and I do not need to go over what the tool did. So I do it myself, only grade it, because it's gonna take me even a longer time to correct the mistakes that the AI did. So if you know how to use it, write command using ChatGPT or like some people said, Gemini, then yeah, sure, it's a wonderful tool to use. Even Grammarly can do that for you. It's also a great resource for teachers. In a lot of times, I will just ask ChatGPT, what is the correct way for this? What is the resource of that? And it gives me. So it's wonderful resource for teachers and educators. And again, if students use it correctly, then yes, for students too. It helps with disabilities. So some students, I have this one disabled student. So sometimes I will have the text read for her using ChatGPT. It's wonderful. So sometimes you do not have to keep saying the same thing over and over to one student. It consumes your time and her or his energy. So better have the ChatGPT or whatever website you use it for you. What I like about ChatGPT text to speech is that it's clear. It's the clearest one, clearer than Google Translate, for example. Finally, all of these applications, if used correctly, encourages independent learning, technological advancement, and if they were in one classroom, also peer work. Like I mentioned earlier, it was wonderful to see the students, collaborate and cooperate with each other to teach each other what did they do and how did they log in and what is the correct username and so on. So it's wonderful for students' advancement, individual advancement as well. I agree with you, Nadia, completely. Moving forward, this is why I chose to integrate between traditional learning and AI applications. It, like I mentioned, encourages collaboration and engagement between students and teachers and students and technology as well. It is very important that our students are not just learning English for no reason. They need to learn it to be able to use technology for their own benefit. So this is one way to do that, by mixing between tradition and technological use. It also helps with improving grammar and writing skills for students. These applications that I just showed to you before, they will show students what their mistakes are and how to fix them. It also provides a balanced environment between tradition and technological. And finally, it improves the students' technological skills. It's, like I mentioned, very important. And we better make our students do that so we teach them the right way to use technology. These are some of the activities that I use with my students. If you have any more, please comment and let us know. It's for our all benefits. In the end of the day, we're just sharing ideas. So what I would do is I will have students, and I will show examples later. I will have students write into Grammarly or ChatGPT and ask them for correction. Then I will have students correct for each other. This is what we did today, actually. So I will have both types of correction, the peer review and also the AI correction. What happened is that they found some small differences. Students focused on the personal use of writings and sentences, while AI focused on the grammar correction. So that's one thing. Also, usually human eye will look at the style, where ChatGPT, Grammarly do not focus on the style. So that's one activity that can be done inside the classroom. Yeah, I just said that compare between AI and students review. Also, we can ask students to do one thing. They will write, and then you will give that writing to another student, and ask the student to rewrite what their classmate just did, and then ask ChatGPT or Grammarly or Quillbot to rewrite the same exact thing, obviously after correcting, and see the differences. How does an AI rewrite what the human can rewrite? And see what is better. What do the student even like? Again, it's important that we engage students and take their personal opinion. So we can do this comparison, have the students compare between themselves and the AI use. And there's another thing. This is, I would say, for B1, maybe A2 students, is that they will write the first draft on their own and then have the draft improved by AI, and then they will see how can they improve the next writing. But this requires, I would say, awareness of how to learn rather than copy directly. So those are some of the activities that I prefer. If you have anything, please go ahead and share. Hadid is asking, the most difficult skill for students is writing skill. Do you have any idea to develop it using AI? Yeah, I'm saying that. I just said that. You can have the first draft written by a student and then copied into AI to see how can it be better. Or you can have it written into AI, and then the AI will give you feedback, and another student will give you feedback, and then you will compare which is better. For also writing for beginners specifically, I like to use Grammarly because it shows you what is the mistake exactly. Like it will write instead of verb, for example, have, you should use has. Instead of is, you should use are, and so on. So it shows you exactly what should you write. So for beginners, for writing, this is wonderful. And grammar is a part of writing. So if you fix the grammar, automatically you're fixing the writing as well. This is why I like to integrate between them. Moving forward. Yeah, I'm gonna show some of my students' example using Quillbot and ChatGPT. Okay, beginning with Quillbot. Let me know if it's clear, okay, if you can see clearly. Now, I had one of my students, and I hope that he's attending and seeing that I used his as an example. I already informed them and took their consent, but I think they like the thought that their example is used. So he wrote, Jeddah is a great city. In summer, it's very hot. In winter, it's cold. This is how he hears it in his head, and this is how he typed it to the computer. And then I asked Quillbot. I didn't even ask. Quillbot already shows you the mistake. You can see that it did not replace Jeddah as first, and it decided that Jeddah is a site, not a city. That's what I talked about when I said it has contextual problems or flaws. So it fixed it as a great site. It tells you replace it with that. Also, summer, it looks more like summary. So the AI decided it's summary. So as you can see here, down, it says summary instead of summer. So that was some of these mistakes. And it shows you here that it's 10 grammar mistakes. This is a flaw with the app. It's not grammar mistakes. Not all of them are grammar mistakes. These are spelling and grammar mistakes, mixed. So I don't know why it only showed me grammar mistakes. I am assuming that it needs paid subscription or something. Let me show you how it fixed it though. Just going to clear it. This is how it fixed it the first time. As you could see, it showed me 10 grammar mistakes, and then I clicked improve all, and this is the new correction. Okay, so this is the first time. So it showed me that Jeddah is a great site. In summary, it's very hot in winter it's cold. It did not fix the capital letters mistake. So it kept it like dot capitalization. That is one other flaw. And in the final one, yeah, I fixed it myself eventually. Yeah, it showed me here that it needs to be fixed, and eventually I had to fix it myself. Then I asked it for rephrasing. Now, when I rephrased it, I noticed that it gave me more than one option, but I did not think that all of those options work for A1 level. This was from a student in A1 level. So as you can see here, it gave me Jeddah as an amazing place, wonderful place, and amazing location. But I needed, I would say, an elaboration on Jeddah as a wonderful place without using these vocabulary. So I did not think this is suitable for level 1. And as you can see on the right here, it says, to sum up, it's really hot and then it's frigid. That just doesn't make sense. So this is why a teacher has to supervise the use of these applications. At least if you want to teach students how to improve the writing or how to rephrase the writing, you better be on their heads to make sure that what's going on is good for them and it's not confusing them even more. I will show you the example with ChatGPT. I'm just going to check the questions quickly. It is hot in winter too. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yes, I know. Okay, moving forward. This is what I did with the ChatGPT. As you can see, the same exact example. It has a great site. In summer, it's very hot. In winter, it's cold. So it fixed it as Jeddah is a great city. In summer, it's very hot. In winter, it's cold. It only did not fix the Jeddah part. They used Jeddah, the name of the city, the way it is. That was the mistake. When I asked it to improve it, though, it gave me myself a confusing answer. So if you can see, it says Jeddah is a vibrant city with a unique charm. Summers are characterized by intense heat, while winters bring cooler, more pleasant weather. This is not A1, at least not the A1 we teach in university. Or I would say not the A1 for EFL learners. ESL learners might be able to not get confused by this, but EFL learners, I'm talking about people who do not use English whatsoever. So this does not help. And when I asked it to improve it for A1 English, it gave me the exact same sentence. So I thought, okay, we're going in circles. I cannot use it to improve the writing that much. So those are the examples I had with ChatGPT and Quillbot. Moving forward. Now, this is how I'm going to expose myself right now. My students, if you're watching, please forgive me. This is how I personally use ChatGPT. I'm a teacher who's very, very busy and I need an assistant, and I do not have an assistant yet. So this is what I do. I would have one grammar concept, sometimes vocabulary, and I want to have more exercises or practice. And I cannot waste 20 to 30 minutes of my time writing examples one by one. So what I would do is I will give a command to ChatGPT with an exact example, one correct example. As you can see here, generate an exercise of 10 multiple choice questions to use the prefix. And then I mentioned the prefixes. You can add more, by the way. You can add vocabulary, whatever the lesson that you have. I gave it an example of the question. She sounded unreasonable, unreasonable, and irreasonable. This is funny to the mouth. And then this is the result that I have. Yeah. Please let me know that you can see this clearly. If you can see this, please let me know. So it gave me 10 exercises like I asked, using those exact 3 prefixes and 10 different examples. I used it one time, I don't know, months ago, and I was baffled. Like, oh my God, I can save my time. So I'm using that now. Every time I need to, thank you, Lamar and Sumaya. Every time I need to give some extra exercises for my students, and I do not have the time, because sometimes we do have time. So every time I need to give them extra exercises or find extra resources, I will just hit ChatGPT, like give me this and this and this, and then it gives me. Like I said, it's better. It's way better to give it an example, so it can work on the same example. Because again, it's a tool, it's a machine. You can teach it how to serve you, how to use the internet for you. Thank you, Asma. So this is one way to use it. You guys, I'm sure you guys have other ways to use it. Let me just check the questions real quick before I go. Is there another app that helps for the students to use it through the books topics? So you're asking about books topics, and this is very specified. So I would recommend that you use ChatGPT, or what I do sometimes, I would ask ChatGPT to give me websites or resources for that exact grammar concept. One other way is writing the grammar concept down and then see the pages that are provided for you. I also do that all the time. It's a great assessment tool or quick checkup. Yes, I agree. Yes, I appreciate it, Fatma. It's my savior for the end of the class. Yes, I agree. I agree. I'm very thankful for whoever invented this. Kahoot to create a game. Yes, but in Kahoot, I have to create a game. That means I have to use some 20-30 minutes of my time. Most of the time, I do that. Like, I'm sure every English teacher is very dedicated and doing the best that they can with the best tools that they have. So today, specifically, I made the questions on quizzes. But the problem is sometimes I have back-to-back classes. Sometimes I have other tasks on me, and I would just use some help. That's it. I always use the help. Okay. So this is what I have for now for this one. Let me move forward. These are some of the challenges that teachers use. The resistance to technology. Some institutions will refuse to let you use these things because they believe it's a cheating tool. So this is a common thing. It's okay. Not all universities or institutions will provide the technology that would use AI or computers. In that case, just shift to traditional until other option is available. Sometimes we have trouble balancing. Most of the time, I lean on the traditional methods, but I'm trying to mix between them. And we have this big problems with students using ChatGPT or AI to replace their own minds. So that's a problem. My opinion and solutions for these things is that we can have training sessions for teachers, for students, for trainers to have them equipped with these tools and know how to use it best, like what we're doing now. We should upgrade our classrooms to include the use of these technologies so we ensure better learning environment for the students and better teaching environment for us as well. Until we have technology, we can provide alternatives. So let's say your institution does not have a computer or computers for the students. You can have computer time for each one of them day by day. Like you can give them 20 minutes on the computer. And then you have 4 students today, 4 students tomorrow, and so on. I used to do that back in school. So we can have this as a solution. Work with whatever you have. I'm sure all teachers are doing the best that they can. So work with whatever you have. And you can teach students to use AI as a tool by continually using it in class, or maybe 3 times a week to teach students that this is a tool. We can use it to our benefit, and we can use it to gain more knowledge. Well, thank you all for listening and being here. I could not believe how time went so fast. Do you have any questions, comments, or inputs? Please go ahead and share.
Hi, Bara. How you doing? You're right. The time goes
I'm
fast.
okay. Yes.
Yeah, but a lot of really useful information, and I can see lots of people writing in the chat that they found a lot of the suggestions really useful that you've been giving, and looking at the different examples of how you use it. This is why these webinars are nice, right? Because you're actually using it in class with students and seeing other teachers in your campus use it. So they're really kind of like, okay, this is being used right here in Jeddah. So it can be used by most teachers, I think.
Thank you so much.
I was looking for any questions. I answered most of the ones in the Q&A.
Yeah,
That's
they're
fine.
asking mostly about the webinars in general, not mine. This is why I kept them
Yeah,
for you.
yeah, they were for me. Oh, this is a really good question. So actually, I had a question, and it might lead to Lucinda's question, because the title of the webinar was about traditional versus AI and innovation. So, in your opinion, do you think are there any traditional aspects of teaching where just technology should just be a blanket no? We should keep technology away from this area of teaching completely, or can it just be integrated into anything?
Okay, I had this comment from a student today. Yes, for writing for beginners, I am such an old-fashioned lady. Students hate me with this. Do you want me to type it down? No,
No, no, no.
or
I was doing a pen and paper.
yes,
Should be
yes,
pencil.
yes.
It's
And the
handwriting.
student was telling me, teacher, like, we're in the technology time. Why do I have to write it on paper? And then I showed her the difference of between typing down and writing down, and that she made a lot of mistakes writing down because it was using automatic correction on the iPad. Even though like I asked it to turn it off. So for writing for beginners, yes, turn off the computers. Turn them off completely. Just have them write at first for a few times, and then over time or in another class, this is what we have in my university, my institution. We have a writing class and we have a lab class. In the computer lab class, yes, they use the computers. So in the writing class, for beginners specifically, write on paper. They object to me, they cry to me. No, write on paper.
Yeah, okay. And do you think that is because I mean, I was reading an article actually about whether they think that handwriting is becoming a lost skill, like a lost
Yeah,
art. People don't really know how to
it
write
is.
with their hands anymore. But do you think that the reason for that, and actually I would probably argue that it's still actually beneficial for higher level students as well, because there must be something between the eye and the hand and the vision when you're
Yes,
writing something by hand. It's a different experience. I'm not saying that
it is.
writing using technology is bad or negative, but there's got to be a value. There must be a different value in both. They're different sets of skills, perhaps.
Yes, it's true. Um, I'm gonna just add this to the whole webinar. The coordination between hand and eye in writing, where you are writing and thinking at the same time, is wonderful. And even actually for therapy, when you go to therapy, the first thing they tell you, write it down. When you write down, you help yourself think better. It's like the ideas will flow from your brain through the pen, somehow from your brain through the pen through your hand. So for beginners and students who are learning to write and they want to improve their writing, I always say try writing with the pen. I don't know what is it scientifically exactly about, but I find it quite helpful, really
Well,
helpful for
yeah.
students.
Which I think leads me then to what I was saying, Lucinda's question, because she
Yeah.
said, are there any AI tools that are helpful for kindergarten level? But
Kindergarten.
thinking about the Macmillan course, Doodletown, and the pedagogy
Yeah.
methodology behind Doodletown is that not just writing, just not tracing letters, but doodling
Mm,
is a really important skill on the path to
yes.
literacy. The ability to just scribble, the ability to make circles, to play with shapes, and all of these skills that kindergarteners learn, and then they carry that forward on their kind of literacy journey as they develop language skills and the ability to translate symbols into words and this stuff. So yeah, I think this idea of writing with your hands. But I don't know if you had an answer for that question. I don't know
Yeah,
of any for kindergarten
yeah,
level.
okay, because I used to teach kindergarten. I'm sorry if I interrupted. We used to teach kindergarten, and yes, we were asked to have them use the pen to improve their fingers muscles. They need to work on those teeny tiny little muscles in their hands and fingers by using the pen, doodling, connecting the lines, and tracing the letters and so on. So this improves their muscles on one aspect, and on the other, it improves their connection between brain and hand. You know, they need to learn that how to, put what they want to do on the paper using their hand because they want to draw in the lines, they want to color in the lines and so on, but they need to have it transmitted into their hands as well.
Yeah,
And
so
even for adults, it's important, not just for babies.
yeah, for sure. I mean, certainly having a
Mm,
9-month-old in the house,
yeah,
I would recommend not using AI as much as possible when they're really, really small, and probably keeping them away from technology in
of
general.
course.
They want
Yeah.
social interaction and creativity, using their hands, their little fingers, which is great.
Yes.
I mean, again, Lucinda, if you've got any advice that you know, I mean, always great to have a
For
conversation.
adults, for
Well,
adults or kindergarten.
I'm assuming she teaches kindergarten, so if she's seen
Yeah.
anything out in the field and she wants to recommend or she has any
Okay.
perspectives, feel free to use the chat box to share them. Okay, great. So, and I have one other question actually, very quickly
Yes.
before we bring Mo on, because I can see him waiting in the wings. My
Yes.
my last question for you, because we just talked about AI tradition versus technology.
Yeah.
I was you because part of the presentation was about grammar, and you were using Grammarly a lot, which I think is a really good tool.
Yes.
I guess the question is again a little bit polarizing because
Mm.
I like to poke a little polarizing questions in there.
Yeah.
Do you think we could remove grammar learning, the learning of grammar, and I don't mean the usage of it, but the actual, like the initial learning of a grammar point? Could we remove that from a classroom teaching time? Are we now at the point where technology really can teach our students all of the grammar concepts and what they mean without us having to do it? It's a bit of a build on the flipped classroom idea, I guess. We'll eventually
Yes.
stop teaching grammar and we'll just practice it. I'm thinking about PPP lessons primarily. Would we cut the first P out and just do practice and production?
It's a great question. I thought about this deeply before, and I was thinking, should we, like, at some point, are we going to stop grammar and have any kind of technology teach grammar for us and replace us? But no, grammar is an integrated part of writing. I just mentioned in the beginning of the webinar, I like to integrate between them because I think that grammar is a huge part of writing. If you don't know the grammar, or if you have a lot of grammar mistakes, you will have a lot of writing mistakes. And while you improve your writing, yes, you will improve your grammar, of course, because you're practiced, but you need to have the grammar concepts first. Otherwise, you are just writing whatever comes on your brain. That's my problem with Duolingo, by the way. That it gives you those plenty of words and vocabulary, and then you do not have the grammar knowledge. So what do we understand? So to me, no, it cannot be taken.
Okay,
We
good.
have to keep grammar as a part of writing.
Perfect. Yeah, and I'm one of those Duolingo. My Spanish is wonderful vocabulary, but my spoken
Yeah.
grammar terrible. So yes, I agree. And I'm
Okay.
glad that was a really nice answer to the question. It was a bit of a kind of devil's advocate type of, I was kind of prodding a little
Yes,
bit.
I noticed.
A wonderful answer. And thank you very much once again. As we said at the beginning, for those of you who are late, Bara'ah's been a little bit sick over the weekend. She's had the flu, so she's been recovering. So we're really appreciative that you've come and shared all of these ideas
Of
and your
course.
experiences with this wonderful teaching community that we have. And I know
Thank
that
you so
everyone
much.
appreciates it. Bara'ah, you are more than welcome to stay for Mo's, but obviously if you want to rest, please feel free also to leave. I can see you stop screen sharing, so I'm going to share my screen
Yes.
quickly before you come on, and so I can introduce our next speaker. But Barat, nice to see you, and thank you once again.
Thank you so much. And good luck with the next speaker.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful presentation indeed. Thank you.
So I think, yep, I'm up again. So wonderful first session. Before we move on and I introduce him, just a reminder that certificates will get sent out probably next week once I've downloaded everybody's information from Zoom. You don't need to share anything. I pull it all out of Zoom from the registrations, and I will be sending out your email. I will link into it your certificate for today. I will put in the links for the recordings. So if you joined late and you missed the beginning, or you want to go back and watch yesterday's, you'll have all of the links there. And I will share some other links as well. So everything will come. Don't worry about that. Because this is brought to you by the MENA-based Academy. Again, if you haven't seen us before, if this is your first time ever joining us, the MENA-based Academy is a free-to-access professional development platform brought to you by Macmillan Education, which is where I work. My name is Nathan. I'm one of the teacher trainers, and I'm the marketing manager for Macmillan Education in the Middle East and North Africa. So I cover all of that region, which is why this is from teachers for teachers. I think that was a little phrase that I put on there at the very beginning, because we are very keen to give a platform to local educational expertise, talents, anybody really with an interest in sharing, as Bara'ah has done, as the guys did yesterday, their experiences in the classroom, tools that you use, tricks that you have, courses that maybe you've studied. All of you have expertise in your classrooms in lots of different ways. And I'm sure each and every person has something to share. And that platform, this platform, is all about that sharing. In terms of us sharing with you, we run activities throughout the year, and the next one is going to be, well, after Thursday, at the end of the winter webinar program. We're going to be back on the 10th of February for 2 weeks with a whole variety of different activities. Each day, 10 days in a row, there's going to be a whole variety of things, and there's all sorts of stuff. Speaking skills, critical thinking, wellness is in there. You've got the importance of characters and color and stories for young learners. You've got even more stuff around AI and the digital realm. And we're going to finish off with that really important topic of inclusivity. And we've got some experts coming to join us to talk about neurodiversity and seeing differences, the different ways that our students learn and engage with our lessons in a positive way. Yeah. In the past, quite often we would segregate people out and worry that they can't do it, or they're weaker students, or maybe they're going to be disruptive to the class. Actually, the modern classroom is all about bringing everybody in and utilizing all of their differences as strengths. So that is coming up, and I will share in the chat box and also in your follow-up email the link so that you can explore this festival, and you can register for that as well. Again, it will all be on Zoom. And of course, you might want to go to our website and explore some of the courses. So if you're thinking about engaging with some of these professional development areas, a lot of the themes that we draw out are now integrated into our most recent course books. I've chosen a few here: Curious Kids and Learning Lands for primary students, Get Involved for teens, middle schools, and Skillful for young adults. And you'll see lots of things like projects, for example, lots of projects. Curious Kids has them. Get Involved has really wonderful projects for teens. So you can be using these technology tools, AI, but also the aim is to get them to collaborate, use those life skills, collaboration, creativity, critical thinking skills, and make sure that they're not just learning information, but working together to use that language in really productive ways. And that'll help, again, drive them forward. But let's bring on our next speaker, of course, Mo. He's been with us before. Mo, a warm welcome to you this evening. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you. I'm feeling, very much better today, and that's yeah. Let's get started.
Yes.
I'm just excited. Yeah.
BARA'AH's been not been very well. Mo has had an operation, so he's had surgery. So we need to be kind to him as well. This is an evening of kindness to the speakers, I think, and we got a flood of hearts earlier, so I'm sure you're going to get a flood of hearts as well.
Thank you.
But yeah, we know you're also recovering well, hopefully, inshallah, and we wish you all the best. And actually, I meant to put a slide in here and I forgot to add it, but Mo is also organizing a really wonderful conference. So I'm going to be speaking at that one. So he's speaking here and I'm speaking at his. And this is going to be on, I want to say the 8th and 9th of February. Is it the 8th and 9th or 9th and 10th?
No, 7th and 8th.
7th and 8th.
Yeah, Friday and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday, 7th and 8th. And again, in the follow-up email, I will put a link to the EDUCAST International, I want to say online international conference. And you've got such a wonderful lineup. I mean, you've got some huge names. You've got big names like Scott Thornberry is going to be there. Nick Peachy is going to be there. Nathan Waller is going to be there. You know, the biggest
Exactly. I would have added it, yeah.
Yeah. And then you've got a variety, you've got lots of other people as well. I saw Alex on there. You've got how many talks do you have? Do you know the number?
Yeah, I think 25 talks.
A huge amount of talks. So we'll share the link. In fact, Mo, you probably have the link. If you want to put it in the chat box, feel free while we're starting. But let me get out my document in the background. Mohammed Nabil, an ESL teacher trainer. He's the driving force behind EDUCAST International. He's just put the link into the chat box. Go to that link, and again, you can register for even more free, wonderful professional development talks, teacher development talks. So Educast International is an organization to help empower educators for the betterment of learning across the globe. And he's specializing in teacher training, integration of edtech and leadership, and he collaborates through speaking and positive change in education to inspire educators to take on leadership with confidence. It's such a nice little introduction, that one. But I think, Mo, in terms of, I mean, I've got thousands of connections across the whole region. One of the most inspiring, I think, in terms of bringing people forward, giving them a space to talk, and just inspiring people to be better in the classroom. This is, I think, a real strength of yours. So congratulations again. This is, hang on, which one is this? Is this, how many have we done? We've done, I've been there since the first one. This is the third or fourth?
The fourth one.
Fourth conference. We've done 4 years. Wow. And that's, I guess, started.
No, the third annual one.
Third annual.
And yeah, and it's the sixth event. Yeah, that's right. Because we usually host international events in Ramadan. So there will be one following in March.
Okay, great. Perfect. Good. And people can find out about that on the website. So I'm going to pass across to you. You are going to be talking today all around empowering teachers and helping them to develop their own agency, and how institutions can develop that as well to create a better teaching community within schools, and help drive teachers. Wishing you the best of luck. You know the ropes.
Thank
No
you.
problem. I will stop screen sharing so that you may do so. There you go.
Yeah, so first of all, thank you. Yeah, thanks, Nathan, for the wonderful introduction. It's always a pleasure collaborating with you and Macmillan, because we share the same vision, empowering education and educators all around the world, not only in the Middle East and North Africa. So everyone, if you can see the screen, please drop something in the chat box. Just number one or anything. Okay, very good. Great. Yeah, let me see. It's running wild. Great. Okay, very good. Okay, so before we start, could you please drop an emoji that represents how you feel today? How do you feel today through an emoji? Just a simple emoji. Okay, most people are happy. Okay, that's very good to know. Okay, great. So actually I used the slides from the previous year and I added, some touches for the winter sessions by Macmillan Education MENA or PD Academy. Okay, very good. So let's get started. So let me start my presentation with a question. Do your choices affect the way you live? Yeah, please drop your answers in the chat box. Okay. So I think everyone says yes. Okay, very good. So let me test you a little bit and show you two choices, two difficult ones maybe. And I want you to drop your answers in the chat box again. Okay, so would you rather try something new every day or stay in your comfort zone? It's a tough one, right? We're talking about your lives in general. Trying something new every day. Yes, something new. Something new, something new. No, start new thing. Very good. It depends on the day. Okay, that's a good answer. Okay. Something new, both. Yeah, it depends on your mood. Yeah, very good. Okay, what about the second one? Would you rather be rich and unhappy or have, a happy family but poor? What do you think? That's a tough one, right? Poor and happy, happy family, rich and happy, both. Yeah, that's good. Okay, poor but happy family. Money doesn't bring happiness. That's a good answer. But sometimes, believe me, it brings it. In the middle place. Okay, just right in between. Okay. Wonderful answers. So actually today we're talking about making your own choices. And as you might have seen in this slide, you're making tough choices, right? Does anyone affect your own choices, or you are the ones who make them? So my wife, wow. Okay, both environment, others. Okay, at the moment it's my own effect. Unfortunately, okay, that's good to okay, that's good to know. Okay, very good. Okay, so we've been talking generally. What about your teaching context, where you work, or in teaching in general? In your teaching context, do you make your own choices, or sometimes you feel a little bit stuck? I mean, if you think for a moment that if you've ever felt like you're stuck in your teaching journey, being caught between what you believe is best for you, for your students, for the institution you work for, and the restrictions around you, you know? So maybe you're facing difficult decisions, but unsure how much responsibility you truly have to make a change for you and for your learners. Have you ever faced this? Yeah, maybe me, by the way, or sometimes I feel the same. Everyone feels the same, right? Yeah. So today we're talking about making your own choices. Today we're talking about teacher agency. Today we're talking about helping you make your own decisions, be a self directed learner, be autonomous and responsible for your own learning and your own teaching practices. We're talking about what teacher agency is, why it matters, and how we can develop it. Okay, very good. Let's get it started. So, in the chat box, I want you to share with me what we mean by teacher agency. What do you know about teacher agency? More workloads, paperwork than time for teaching. You have to abide to policies, but you have to put your own principles and methods. I completely agree with you. Exactly. What do you think of the word teacher agency, or the term teacher agency? Let me check. Let me check the chat box. Having the final say on what we do. Excellent. Hard way. Okay, that's good. But it isn't that hard. Teaches autonomy. That's a good word. Being trusted as a professional to implement what you need to grow the learner. It feels rich. Okay. Who supports the teacher? Hard. Having trust. Okay, very good answers. Actually, you're all right. Today we're talking about teacher agency, and there is one word that might represent this. It's the word that starts with R. I already mentioned it. So what do you think it is? Huh? What do you think is this word? Risk? Exactly, Marianne. Yeah, that's right. It's responsibility. That's right. So actually, guys, this word will lead us to the definition of teacher agency. Actually, teacher agency is the teacher's ability to make purposeful decisions, or take the initiative in their work. It's like going to the work every day and do the same thing, and you stop for a moment and think that you need to change something. Maybe you need to do something to develop yourself professionally, to develop your teaching practices, to develop the learning environment for your learners, and maybe you participate in shaping the policies of the place you work, right? And I've been in this place before, by the way, and it was very long time ago when I had to take a step backwards and think for a moment about what I should do to maybe move forward, to develop, to advance my career. Okay, so teacher agency reflects how independent you are, in shaping your own teaching, the curriculum you use, and the strategies to meet the students' diverse needs and interests. So Teacher agency is like a key that helps you foster innovation, improve education, and empower educators. Yeah, that's right. And the reason why I mentioned teacher agency with self-directed learning or autonomous learning is that if you make your own choices, if you have the responsibility to do it or to make it, you know, you are a self-directed learner. It's like having a learner go to the library and searching for a book about grammar to learn something because he wants to learn this thing, right? To learn this thing. So imagine that you need something and you are the only one who will be able to make the decision to make it or to make it happen. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so everyone, today we're talking about teacher agency. And when we mention teacher agency, we have some key elements that we have to consider. And these elements are, as you can see, and apparently I used an AI tool because AI is really important, in everything. Yeah, you have to make it work for you. And on this slide or on this presentation, I've made it work for me to make, those pictures to summarize the points I want to add to my slides. So this tool is called napkin.ai. So anyway, let's get back on track. So if we're talking about the elements of teacher agency, we're talking about having freedom. Imagine that you are a free teacher who has the power to make your own decisions about teaching and classroom activities. So you're not waiting for someone else to tell you exactly what to do. You're not waiting for anyone to tell you which activity will suit your learners or will suit your own methodology. No, you're making your own choice. Okay. Also, we have reflection, and reflection is an essential part of teacher agency as teachers think about what will work and what won't work. And believe me, no one will ever have the idea about your learners more than you, right? So, whenever you know what your learners need and what works well for them, you will be able to adjust your own teaching to help them understand better. Because, the best thing about being a teacher is to respond to the learner's needs. That's your priority, right? And if you are, or if you have the responsibility to do whatever you want because you are the one who knows very well what to do, you will help your learners in the best way, right? Okay, so number one is freedom. Number two is reflection. Number three is also teamwork, because when you have the ability to make your own decisions, this doesn't only mean that you're working alone, because we should be, in contact with other teachers, working with other teachers to learn from their own practices, right? To benefit from their own experiences, from the activities they use, not only teachers, by the way, but also leaders, educational leaders. And this will have, a really positive impact on learning. It will improve learning and solve maybe every problem that you face in the place where you work. Okay. Um, Number four is knowledge. Okay, so it's a very important key of teacher agency, because teachers use what they know and learn new ideas to make better decisions, right? Because you won't be able to make a good decision if you don't know what to do. You know what I mean, right? Yeah. And last but not least, number five is advocacy. And it's about having teachers speak up for uh, what's best for their students and their schools. And believe me, I know exactly what every teacher might face, in their institutions, by facing a lot of restrictions and constraints every day, by being told what to do. But believe me, if you go back home and reflect on everything that you do every day in the classroom and everything that you do generally in every work day, I think you will do very well in your classes, because when you study, when you try to reflect on your practices every day at home, you will get back again on the next day, and you will be better able to help your learners better. Why? Because now you know exactly what they need, what works for them, and what doesn't work for them. So you think about how to make things work for all of them. Because again, what really matters is that you know exactly how to provide your learners with the best learning experience ever. That's your job as a teacher, right? Yeah. Okay, great. So these are the 5 elements of teacher agency. But why teacher agency? Why does it matter? Why do you think it matters? Yeah, exactly. That's a very good suggestion, Marianne. Um, yeah, thank you. Okay, so everyone, why do you think teacher agency matters? Let me try to make this work again. Okay, flexibility. Okay, good. Excellent. It fosters teachers' progress. Wonderful. Um, comfort zone. Okay, yeah. So sometimes you need to step out of your comfort zone. Creativity. Good. That's good. Okay, it enables teachers to be more creative, enables enhanced professionalism. Wonderful answers. Okay, great. So, guys, I still remember my first teaching experience as a school, and I think I already shared this with Nathan before in a podcast by MENA PD Academy last year, or maybe a couple of years ago. Time runs fast, and you know, I used to work in an environment where I really suffered from the restrictions and constraints, and there weren't any evident professional development opportunities. So I thought that I was wasting my time and I didn't help my learners, um, you know, by any way. So I had to take some time to reflect on everyday teaching practice, and took some courses, and took some responsibility towards my own learning, because you can't always wait for others to help you. Don't you agree with me? If you keep waiting for others to guide you, or give you a hand to move forward, perhaps you will never find this hand, right? You have to take the initiative. You have to improve every day. Otherwise, you will waste the most valuable thing in your life in vain, which is time, right? Exactly. So a teacher is not a tree. They need to move, grow, and change. That's excellent. Abdul Wahid, excellent. Okay, very good. So actually, guys, I have listed some reasons for why teacher agency really matters. And I also used AI or napkin.ai. Well, as you can see, this lovely picture of the keys. Yeah. And here is the word teacher agency. So actually, guys, teacher agency is really important because it leads to better learning for teachers and for learners, because teachers will be able to adapt their lessons to meet the diverse needs of their students. Number two, it will definitely lead to improved learning, because students will definitely benefit when teachers have the freedom to make decisions. You know, you're the role model inside the classroom, and learners learn a lot from you. Actually, they follow your steps, right? Sometimes, you know, you see some students are attracted to the way you wear clothes, right? Maybe the way you speak, the way you deliver information. They learn from you creativity, innovation, right? Exactly. And if you are a confident teacher because you have responsibility for your own learning, you will help your learners become really confident and prepare them for the future. Also, teacher agency is important to develop innovation or to achieve innovation. As teachers, when teachers learn, they learn about new ideas, and then they can enhance their methodologies or enhance the way they teach in the classroom. Teacher agency might lead not might, will definitely lead to happy teachers. Imagine that you are developing every day. You know, I still remember a word that I shared with some of my trainees, which is that the best learning or the best work environment that you have to aim for is the work environment that has number one, real professional development opportunity. This comes on top of the list, on top of the priorities. Okay. And then good work environment and money comes next. Because if you don't have professional development opportunities, you will have years of service, not years of experience. You will keep doing the same things every day, right? Number two, if you don't have a healthy and positive work environment, perhaps you will waste some of your time, valuable time, you know, talking to therapists, right? Yeah, exactly. And if you don't have both, if you don't have professional development opportunities or healthy work environment, money won't even help you. Don't you agree with me? Yeah, exactly. So if you really are able to develop yourself, if you are responsible for your own teaching, learning, practices, professional development, you will be a much happier teacher because it gives you sense of control. You know what I mean? Because when you feel that you are in control, you are more motivated and less stressed, right? Exactly. No one is pushing you to anywhere. And also, institutions that embrace teacher agency, or they always work on giving that kind of responsibility to teachers, well, they are really strong schools or institutions, as teachers help shape better policies and practices in the places where they work. Okay. So now, yeah, exactly. It's having some kind of control over your career. Exactly. Okay, but how can we develop it? Yeah, so we talked a lot about what teacher agency is and why it is really important. And this is some kind of theoretical, right? How can we put this to the test? Or how can we do this in order to become more responsible teachers? Well, we can do lots of things, but let me share, let me hear your thoughts first in the chat box. How can we develop teacher agency? Safe environment enhances creativity. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Work more on ourselves. Very good. Reflection. That's an excellent word. And I did it myself. Learn something new every day. That's really good. And also, please remember to celebrate even, the little achievements that you have every day. You did an activity, a successful activity yesterday. Please celebrate this. Take care of yourself, right? Yeah, learn something new every day. Look forward to yeah, exactly. Use technology, use AI, not let it use you. Okay, great. Implement what you learn. Very good. Exactly. And that's actually what I did. Because when I felt really frustrated very long time ago, I had to get back at home to try to find free resources to learn, maybe taking some courses. And I started with the TESOL course from Arizona State University. And it was really amazing. It was, a life-changing experience. I'm not promoting it at any way, but I'm just mentioning an example. And then every day I learned something new. I got back to my classes and I, applied everything with my learners, got back again every day at home to reflect on my practices and trying to find out what worked well, what didn't work well. And this helped me develop as a teacher and also developed all of my learners. Exactly. So collaborating with others, cascading knowledge, allowing them to have a voice in decision making, encouraging. The chat box is running. Okay. But very good ideas, to be honest. Yeah. Attending wonderful PDE events just like this one. Exactly. That's right. Well, actually, I have also listed some ideas on how we can develop teacher agency as teachers. So this is what teachers can do to develop teacher agency. Teachers can take some steps to develop or to make themselves more responsible towards their own careers by embracing or some kind of opportunities for growth, collaboration, and also leadership. So number one and on top of my list is taking ownership of professional development. Again, don't wait for anyone to help you develop. Please go for the opportunities that you search for. So number one, engage in reflective practices. Regularly reflect on your teaching practices. Try to identify your areas of weaknesses and also, let's say, the areas of improvement, and also what you can what you can do very well in the classroom, and also set some personal goals. Make them a little bit short, achievable. You can achieve them in a short time, and then you will be more confident and responsible for your own career. Also, seek professional development, search for it, search for opportunities, participate in webinars, workshops, courses, conferences. All of these things are everywhere on the internet, and believe me, um, the majority of them, is, I think all of them are free. So, for example, this wonderful event by Macmillan PD Academy is entirely free, and it connects educators from the MENA region and from other parts of the world to learn from free, to share their practices and insights for free, right? Also, Macmillan is hosting an amazing event. It's the Macmillan Annual Festival, and I think you have seen already the quality of the speakers who are there, right? Also, you can attend, conferences like EduCast international conferences, because we're really proud at EduCast to be partners with education, with Macmillan Education MENA. So yeah, so it's an entirely free conference. You can attend it. You can learn from the best in the field of English language teaching. Okay, so search for the free PD opportunities first till you are able to afford the paid ones. Okay, so don't wait for the money to comes till you take a specific course. No, just start with what's available and then move forward once you're ready and once everything is available to you. Okay, also, seek further education. Also, try to study the job market, see what it requires to provide you with much better opportunities. For example, if it requires you to get a master's degree, please go for it. Okay, if it requires you to read books, read books. If it requires you to take a particular qualification or certification, please go for it. Don't wait for anyone to help you do this. Okay, consider advanced degrees, certifications and training programs in your areas of interests. Always develop yourself, right? Number two, and it's also really important, build collaborative networks. In other words, join communities of practices or any community of practice. Okay, so you can participate in local, national, or global networks of teachers. Why? To exchange ideas, to exchange resources. You can even join one of these communities and go someday and share that you applied an activity or you implemented a particular activity in your class on a particular day and it worked very well. So everyone, please, you can do it and share the activity with them and learn from their feedback. Okay. So it's like exchanging knowledge, exchanging insights and expertise with everyone. Okay. Use social media. You don't know the power of social media and online platforms. Okay. Always connect with teachers worldwide through platforms like LinkedIn. There you can find all ELT professionals. You can find everyone there. And believe me, that's the platform I used to grow my own connections and own network. Okay. So use LinkedIn, use maybe Facebook, use any platform that you find useful and beneficial for you. Okay. Also, be an advocate for autonomy. So it's not only about knowing exactly what to do, but also helping others know what to do. And I've always embraced the saying, which is, um, yeah, I'll remember it in a second. Yeah, yeah. If you have to teach, you have to always teach what you learn. If you want to develop your learning, yeah, you have to teach what you learn. I can't remember it very well, but actually you have to do it. So whenever you remember or you learn something new, please teach it to others. This way, you solidify your understanding of it, and also get some feedback. You can get some feedback from other people by having them listen to what you're sharing with them. Okay, so always take an active role in discussions about curriculums, about activities, about the assessment methods in your places, right? In your schools, in your classrooms. Okay, why? Because you have to foster innovations. Okay, and also sometimes you have to ask for leadership roles. Okay, you can volunteer for committees. There are a lot of in like the Nile TESOL. There are associations all around the world like Nile TESOL, TESOL Turkey, TESOL, TEFL Kuwait, TESOL Kuwait, and all of these entities. You can volunteer and you can be part of it. Okay, you can be part of any of them. You can join mentoring programs, and you can join a lot of things. You can do lots of things actually that will definitely help you advance your career. Okay, and also remember that you join Macmillan PD Academy newsletter if you want to advance your career. Yeah. Okay. So number 4 is that you have to focus on student-centered activities. And I've seen already some people mentioning this in the chat box. Yeah, always embrace student-centeredness because it's all about the learner. It's not about us, right? Yeah. So empower your learners, create opportunities for your learners to take responsibility for their own learning. And this will foster a classroom culture of shared responsibility. Okay. Also, try to cater your instruction and your lessons to your learners' needs. Use the data, use the feedback that you get from your learners and from your colleagues to make good decisions about the strategies and the methodologies that you use in your classes. Okay. Number 5, and you will thank me if you really try to develop it. It's about developing a growth mindset. Stay away from negativity. Okay, I know the world has become a really tough place. Okay, but please try to avoid negativity. Okay, you have to embrace challenges. Life is not always easy. Good things will never come to you in an easy way, right? You have to challenge yourself. You have to overcome some obstacles, just like what I've done so far, by the way. So I'm talking from a real experience. Okay, so you have to view the challenges that you face every day as opportunities to learn or grow. For example, you did something that didn't go well. Okay, so it's a learning experience. It's not a failure. Okay, so always remember that either you learn or you earn, right? So there is no failure. Also, you have to learn from your own mistakes. And this is also something I already do. Okay. So you have to reflect on every thing that you do, on every mistake that you make inside or outside the classroom, this will definitely help you improve and develop your future practices. Also, and for the people who are all around the world right now, please stay resilient. Okay, try to maintain a positive attitude and try to be adaptable, flexible in the face of every change. So if you really follow these tips, you will definitely become a really excellent teacher and you will develop your teacher agency. Okay, exactly. Learn about who you are. But this is only for teachers. What about institutions? How can institutions drive change or make some kind of change? How can institutions develop teacher agency? Well, institutions can do a lot by helping colleagues or helping teachers work together. Okay, creating teams and asking them to work in teams or in groups to finalize or accomplish some kind of goals or projects in schools, right? This will definitely help, every school that to maintain a positive work environment, because we don't have to compete, guys. We have to collaborate, right? And this is what Educast and Macmillan, are doing, right? So we're always collaborating to share knowledge, to help teachers all around the world, right? So teachers also, or institutions, can help their teachers to engage in professional development opportunities. Schools and institutions can offer some courses, maybe paid or free ones. They can, host free professional development workshops. Teachers can share their own practices and they can bring someone or some experts from outside the institution or the organization to share their insights and expertise with all teachers, and then trying to apply all of this, right? Also, institutions, need to allow teachers to speak, right? They need to allow teachers to speak, and they have to take their opinions and all of their suggestions into consideration, because if the teacher is really happy in the place where he is working, actually this teacher might stay there in this place maybe forever because he is a happy teacher, right? So to sum things up on this point, I think institutions have to give some kind of responsibility for their teachers to enhance their teaching practices, to help them enhance the learning or their learners' learning experiences. So my final thoughts, and I hope that I haven't exceeded the time, is that you have to be a self-directed learner. You have to take the initiative. You have to work very hard, because life won't always be fair if you keep waiting for others to help you. And again, I've been through this before. Okay? So always work on two aspects. Develop your language level, because you're the source of input for your learners, and also develop yourself academically, develop your methodologies, take certifications, go for the trends, search for the trends. Every day we have a new trend, even in English language teaching. So I think that by this, I'm done. Yeah, I know that it was some kind of short presentation, but I really need to, listen to your comments about what you really learned. So if everyone in the chat box, please share 3 takeaways that you have had already from this session. 3 takeaways, 3 things that you learned today. Okay, motivation. Sometimes I think that, you know, that I need to work as a motivational speaker, right, Nathan?
So yeah, charge of
Yeah,
especially.
being in charge. Yeah, wonderful, wonderful takeaways. Being in charge. So sometimes I can't follow the, you know, the things in the chat box. Being in charge of your professional development,
Like the
resilience, be resilient. Very
someone said,
good. Yeah,
it
wonderful.
feels like a free therapy
Yeah,
session. It's such.
yeah, being successful depends on mindset. Yeah.
Go on, I'll let them continue to write their final thoughts. Give them a moment.
Yeah.
Flexible
Take
and
control of my career, inspiration, personal growth. Take control of the direction, follow good mentor programs, and always try to have a mentor. Everyone should have a mentor. Don't be afraid to ask. Ask your supervisors, ask experts, ask anyone whom you might find, um, um, you know, more knowledgeable, maybe more experienced, because you will really benefit from their answers. So always have mentors as teachers. Yeah, have a mentor. Yeah, very good. Be of help to others, resourceful, academic growth. Very good. Self-catering. Yeah, that's right. And before anything, take care of yourself. Take care of your well-being. Having and giving positive energy. Be flexible. Amazing. Amazing. Great ideas, to be honest.
advocacy. That's nice.
Yeah, self-advocacy. Follow Castan Macmillan.
Yes,
Yeah,
a
that's the
lot of
that's our
wonderful,
takeaway. That's our
wonderful.
takeaway, Nathan. Yeah.
I think there's been a lot more takeaways. I mean, there's been some wonderful promotion of Macmillan. I'm very happy about that. But I think there are some more powerful takeaways, and the fact that the people are inspired to write all of these comments in the chat box, I think shows just how motivating and informative, as someone's saying there, that this session was. And you've got such a lovely pace. So it does feel like a free therapy session. You've got a lovely way of just like easing us through the conversation and keep relating that back to your personal experiences and how that's informed your journey. I think is what makes it such a powerful a webinar. And you're right.
Thank you.
I don't really have much to add apart from, you know, this idea of leadership is modeled, and there are so many opportunities, as you mentioned, out there. There are obviously with Educast and with Macmillan. You were saying about, there's so many free opportunities, but quite often some of those paid opportunities come along in unexpected ways. I've actually donated as sponsorships quite a few of like the Nile online courses, for example. So when you were saying
Yeah.
about subscribing to the newsletter, I guess it's good to get informed about webinars that are upcoming, but actually, if you look through those, there's quite often I put in other types of opportunities as well, and some of them can be get involved. So, for example, in not last year, but the year before, I did a big research project across the Middle East and North Africa. And again, if you go to the website on the homepage, you can read that report. So it was researching all various aspects of teaching and learning and digital usage, kind of post-COVID. And at the end of it, we did a draw. So out of all of I think it was like 500 people that submitted into the survey, we plucked 2 of those people out as a draw, and we gave them a paid Nile course. So there's lots of these opportunities wherever I can kind of find ways to kind of drip them in. We do try. So, but again, like you said, there's lots of free things as well. I love that idea of, and I think you're again a very good example of this. Those for me, I guess those who step up get seen. And I think about a project that I worked on. I won't say where. It wasn't in the Middle East and North Africa, but I was there for 3 years. It was a teacher development project, and I was responsible for 60 schools and all the teachers within those schools. A huge a huge bank of schools. And of course, they've all got different needs. They all have different expectations. They all have different levels of motivation. But one of the first things that I said to them when we started the project is, the more you come to me, the more likely I'm gonna end up helping you, because if you disappear into the crowd, I don't know your needs. It's very difficult with this many schools and teachers to find everybody's need. And, and by the end of the 3 years, I'm pretty sure the ones that were the most engaged, the ones that were most active, the ones that were brave enough to kind of come and ask a question or come and ask for support, they're very often the people that got the most support, probably, and got the most value out of that type of project. And that's how teacher development works, I think. You've got to really be brave and put yourself forward. So, for example, these webinars, they're not just delivered by me. They're not just delivered by Macmillan. We're inviting teachers, like I said at the beginning, to share their experiences and the value that they can give to that wider teaching community. So if any of the people who are in the crowd are feeling brave, and we will support you 100% of the way. It's not just, here's your time slot, come and deliver.
Exactly.
No, we meet before. We can look at your slides. We can talk through them. We can give you advice. We're here to help you to develop. And it doesn't have to be for a webinar. If you're presenting you mentioned Nile TESOL, you want some support, get in touch. We're more than happy to help if we can and if we have the time, always. So there are my things. You were talking about mentoring. So I'm hoping, so that MENA PD Academy, you've mentioned it many, many times, but I'm hoping that I can develop within that platform a mentoring space so that teachers can choose to be either a mentor or a mentee, and they can be linked on certain topics. So if you want to develop in something, or if you'd like to mentor people on a particular aspect of teaching and learning, hopefully we're going to be able to create little mini communities within that platform. That's my ambition for 2020.
Nathan, the best part about helping others and being or about mentorship is that you learn from someone and you teach someone else. So it's like having, it's like, like a chain, right? Yeah. So we're all connected together.
Isn't this what education is? Isn't what it should be? And if you can do that amongst ourselves, surely we're modeling that to our students as well. And that is the most valuable part for them, for them to learn and teach each other, to share their own experiences and work together. That for me is the purpose of the classroom and what we're trying to achieve, I think, together. So yeah, really, really good stuff. So, well, thank you so much. We're kind of coming to time, so let's try to wrap it up. Can you stop screen sharing just so I can share the last slides and just share a little bit of information?
Just a second. For those who are asking about my LinkedIn account, they can scan this QR code. Okay, this QR code, has everything about me and also has the link for the website www.educastinternational.com, where you can click on the free ticket, fill out the information, and you will attend the conference for free. And yes, you have free certificates of attendance. So I'll just give you some 10 seconds before I stop sharing the screen.
And I want to also relate back to a few things because the chat box was going really fast. But I can see a comment from, I'm going to pronounce your name wrong, I'm sure. In fact, you can help me with this. Is it Abdulwahid? Abdulwahid? How would you pronounce it?
Abdulwahid.
Who was saying, he's saying a big thank you to us. And the guys behind the scenes is me. And say for behind the scenes is Mo. But actually,
you have no idea. You have no idea about how hard working guy this man is.
But actually, he was also, I don't know if is this a male or a female name? Abdulwahid.
Abdulwahid is a male.
Yeah. So they were asking if I was at the ALC. I was there in Marrakesh the week before last. And for anyone who is from Morocco joining us, I will also be back in April to attend the Rabat conference as well. So if you're in Morocco, come and see me. I will be at Nile Tisol in Egypt. So if you are based in Egypt, come along and see me at Nile Tisol. If you're in Saudi, I will be hopefully at PNU next week for their conference. So if you're there, come and see me there. I'm all over the place. If you see me, come say hi anytime. Let me share my screen. 2 last slides. Again, Mo, a big, massive thank you to you for giving your time and coming. I don't know what to say. It's a wonderful session. I loved it. Certificates. Quite a few people were asking. You were asking about certificates, whether or not you get 1 per day or 1 for the whole webinars. You'll get 1 per day. I will do 1 for each day that people attend. So if they attend all 3 days, they can have 3 different certificates. And these will come out once the webinars are finished and I get a little bit of time to sit down and trawl through the hundreds. In fact, it'll be over 1,000 registrations, I'm sure. We mentioned loads of times the Global Teachers Festival. Go to macmillanenglish.com/GTF and you can learn all about the Global Teachers Festival there. And that's it from me. We'll see you on Thursday. Tomorrow I couldn't do any, but I have a personal thing. So we're back on Thursday evening, and we are going to be welcoming Dalia, who's joining us from Egypt, and Huma, who's joining us from the UAE. And they're going to be looking at productive skills, utilizing L1, the importance of L1 on the ability of our students to learn English. And we're going to be looking a little bit about inclusivity as well. So a nice way to wrap up the winter webinars. I'm coming to Egypt the end of January. 31st, I think, is Nile Tisol, which is at the AUC. But for me, and from Mo and BARA'AH, who I hope has taken some flu tablets, some more flu tablets probably, and gone to bed so that she rests and gets better soon. Mo, also,
Thank you.
get back to full health. You've got a big conference coming up soon. But from all 3 of us, thank you for joining us, spending your time with us this evening. And hopefully we'll look forward to seeing you on Thursday. If we don't see you on Thursday, I'll be sharing all of the recordings. You'll be able to get a hold of them as well. Don't worry. You'll get an email with all sorts of information next week. But thanks again, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Have a wonderful evening wherever you are. And yeah, from Mo and I, peace out, I guess.